pick this laptop up and walk around with it because I'm going to be filming stuff on this camera. Okay, it looks like we're live now, finally. I don't know what happened with that other one, but I had to start making a new event all over again. Okay. And of course, nobody's here now. The people that was here left. Oh, I got one person. Okay, good. All right, I got one person. Okay, so I can give somebody something. All right, so we finally got this thing live. We finally got this thing live. All right. So I got my trustworthy assistant here, and I got a webcam that I'm tethered to my computer. So turn the lights on, son. Let's get some light in here. I just want to talk to my subscribers a little bit. All right, so you can see here, I got a mock-up that I made in my family room, much to my wife's chagrin. And I just want to show you everything here. Let me detach this. And you can see everything is tight and straight. Make sure I'm showing this right. Tight and straight. You can see right here where the hip don't hit on this side. It hits on this side. It don't touch this side. And the reason why it's cut short here, because that's the exact measurement to where this hip touches the fascia. You know, in order for it to touch this way, touch this one too, I'm gonna have to have a funny little bevel on it and all that. And so I don't do that. I just cut it short to make it easy. But this steel, and you can see that I have my, let's see if I can see that. You can see I have the hip backed. I have the hip backed. You see, I back the hip with the angle, with the angle for the 12-12 side and the 8-12 side. It planes with the 8-12 side and with the 12-12 side. And so this ridge here in the center of the hip, it goes right to the edge. It planes right to the center. You can tell. I'm trying to get this right. It planes right to the center corner right here. You see? Right to the center. And let me show you this too. Let me show you this. I'm going to show you something here. You see how it's coming right there? That's the bottom of the 1/2-inch plywood. So the top of the 1/2-inch plywood is going to come right there. It's going to die to the center. You see, basically. So this hip is like perfect. You notice how when some guys praying their hips are all hot and they have that little swoop. They have that little swoop going up because their hip is too high and they have that big gap between the plywood. And right here, the first jack, well, I don't have that. I never have that. And the reason why I don't have that, because I have the proper stance. The proper stance rafter. Just real, give me that Sharpie marker, wherever it's at. Give me that shoe over there somewhere. Stance on the rafter. Know exactly where the center of the rafter is. Let me show you on. Hold this right here. I'm going to square that up. Now, I understand some of these things might not be clear to you. I have an whole series. I made a whole series of videos on how I made this mock-up, step by step. That's what I want to give my subscribers. I want to give my subscribers secrets they never heard before. And the reason why, because when you're on a job site, you're working and you don't have a lot of time to show all these little details. You really don't. And that's one reason why guys do a whole lot, because they're trying to make money. I really wouldn't be able to show anybody this kind of stuff. Let me see. You see that? That mark right there? That mark right there represents the center of the hip. That mark. And you can see that it don't go all the way to this. This mark right here, let me show you that. It's showing good. Yeah, that's good. This mark right here represents a whole video explaining this. I'm not going to explain it right now. I did a whole video going into detail on how I make my hips and why this mark is further back than this mark, which is the center of the hip. I can't explain it right now because I have the roof already put together. So I really can't get you the guts of that, but I'm going to upload explain that in great detail. And if you after that, then you can ask. But right now, I'm just giving you an overview. I got the whole thing done. And so I just want to put a video up and I want to give content. Let me see if anybody's asking any questions. Let me see if anybody's asking any questions. Anybody got any questions, any comments? You want to ask me any questions? Because I'm about to, this is not going to be a long video. I'm just doing a live just to introduce my video. I already uploaded one video on this, and it's basically an overview as well. But I just want to show you how everything look. Look at these jacks here. Look at those jacks. Look how tight they are. Snug to the hip they are. Look at that. All the cuts are beautiful. Look at this little corner here, how beautiful it is. You see? Look how beautiful this lines up right with the center. Right with the center of the valley. That inside corner, that valley lines up. Let me see. Am I getting that? Okay. Could you show the valley area? Oh yeah, absolutely. Good. Yeah, give me some questions, y'all. That makes it interesting to me. Give me some questions. and yes, I made this out of styrofoam. Okay. I want to show you the valley area. Hold on a second. I want to make this screen smaller. Oh, I didn't know I could make this smaller. Ah, that's nice. Okay, look at the valley area right here. See how that lines up perfectly with the corner? See how it planes perfectly? Is that what you want to see, F guy? Is that what you want to see? Or you want to see it from the top too? It's going to show the same way from the top as it does from the bottom anyway. So let me see. You can see that this lines up perfectly. It lines up perfectly with the valley. Top and bottom? Okay, cool. Jezreel, come here. I need you to hold this computer. And I want to show you something else. I'm going to show you, hold a second. I'm going to show you that this subfascia, the length of this subfascia right here, fascia here, it corresponds with the length of that ridge. It corresponds with the length of that ridge. So I'm going to show you that as well. So let's take the power off because the battery will last at least 30 minutes. And let's walk around here. He wants to get a shot from the top. So this is from the top. This is that valley from the top. Okay. That's that valley from the top. That's how I should line up. This is going to be very easy to sheet. Very easy to sheet. Let me tell you this, y'all. The reason, another thing I'm going to show you here. You can see right here, I have a base. This base represents the top of the bottom of the ceiling joist. That's what this represents, this board. Okay. The advantage of this is that you're able to get into the DNA of the roof by making lines for the hips. I didn't make this line all the way out, but you can make your lines for your hips. You can measure everything. You can even put your layout for your jacks. And the beauty of this is that you're able to see how everything lines up in a way that you never would be able to see on a job site. Why? Because you have ceiling joists. You don't have a solid canvas that you can draw on and calculate with. But this, if you start doing this right here, it's going to take your carpentry skills to a whole nother level. In other words, you get you a mock-up and you get you a little platform. And the reason why I did styrofoam is because it's white. I didn't want to do plywood because, you know, the red chalk, you know, you can't see real good. I wanted the marks to be very, very, very distinct, whether I use a red marker or whether I use a Sharpie. So that's why I use styrofoam. And I was just experimenting anyway. I'd never seen anybody do this before. And all my calculations for this roof are on this sheet of paper. All my the only thing that's not on here is I got my step off per inch. I got my long point for if I'm going to do my jacks. What's the step off for the long point? I got the long point with the 16 on center. I got the short point. You know, sometimes your saw won't be able to go like if you have rafters that have 70 degrees on it, a 70-degree bevel, you can't put a bevel on it. So in the Midwest, what we do here is we just put a 45 on it and we measure to the short point of the bevel. And so I have short point of the bevel. What the rafters would be on the short point of the bevel. Well, the first rafter. And then after the first rafter, you got 16 on center. Another thing that I usually have on this piece of paper is my plywood angle measurements. What is the plywood angle cuts for the 812 and the 1212 side. The other thing I have on here is a real small chart of the angle for my hips and my valleys. That's what this is right here. I'm going to upload all this stuff up, y'all. I got a whole bunch of videos. I have a whole bunch of videos that breaks this all down. But let me tell you something. I got to tout the advantages of having a canvas under your roof. If you're learning, this is a remarkable tool for helping you learn and comprehend concepts that you really can't see ever if you are building a house for real. This really helps you. You want to have one of these at home. You want to have at least done one of these in your career, where you have a platform, a canvas, where you could draw out all the angles, you could draw out your jacks, you could draw out everything. It really, really helps a whole lot. I cannot underspeak how much this helps. I really can't. And I like the 2-inch styrofoam because it's cheap. It's kind of time consuming because you got to cut all your rafters with a handsaw. But who cares? Who cares? If you have this set up in your garage or in your yard, or like I did, something really crazy in my family room, I'm telling you, it's going to help you. I can't tell you how much this really helped me. I can't express to you how it is some things on here that I never would have understand in all my years of framing if I never would have started using a platform. And even if you don't use styrofoam, you can use plywood. The only thing I don't like about plywood is because it's kind of sometimes it got a little reddish color and you don't see the colors as well. And it on I wanted it to have great visibility. And look at this, y'all. My hip, my hip is lining up directly with this. It's directly with this. Let me show you that. You see that? Turn around so I can see that. See if I'm showing it right. You see that? It's lining up right with the hip. I didn't do one, or this is the valley. This is the valley. It's lining up exactly with the valley. Same thing with this one right here. Even though it's not drawn all the way out, this is the hip right here. It lines right up with the hip. And you can see even on the wall plate. You see, I love this because you could trace everything up on the wall plate. It's just beautiful. And look, I want to show you what I did with my King Common on my 1212 side. You see how I put a little baby ridge on here? Now, the stock of my material is 2 inches. So what I did is I added an inch and I put a little flat top up there. I put a little flat top up there. Why? Let me show you why. So when I put this comment up, this jack up, I could just when I'm and this is a huge advantage. I have something to nail into. Pop, 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 right into the common or the jack. And then pop, pop, pop. So this is halfway onto the jack. And this is halfway on the jack, right in the center of the jack. So that's why I like this, because you can pop, 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 and that little ridge there. Now, if you was doing this with regular lumber stock, you would have this be a 3/4 of an inch, because that's half of an inch and a half. So yeah, that's what I did. And you could tell that this jack right here is lining up perfectly with the haps on all those other rafters over there. You see that? You see those lines on those rafters? That represents the stance on the rafter in the building line. And you can see that it's lining up perfectly with this jack. Okay. Um, Now, let me see here. What else you guys want to see? You got anything else you want to see? F guy, or any questions or whatever? And look at this. I want to show you this. Look at how these hips line up. Look at how they plane. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at how they plane. Look at how they plane. You can tell they plane perfectly. Okay? They plane perfectly. So this is just an introductory video. I'm uploading some more videos soon, and you can put it down. So, okay, good. So, but thank you for the questions. I appreciate it. Appreciate your interest in this channel and your support of this channel and your subscription. Tell your friends about this channel. I'm going to tear this down soon. I'm going to try to keep this up another week if I can, because this is driving my wife crazy, to say the least. It's driving my wife crazy. But I just want to show you this too. This, all the 12-12 side is built up like 5 inches, 5.5 inches. Okay. The 12-12 side is built up 5.5 inches. The overhang that I have is 16.5. That's the overhang on this roof. It's a 16.5 inch overhang. All right. A 8-12 and a 12-12 pitch. Because you guys might want to work this out yourself too, and see if you can't come up with the same measurements that I come up with. What else? So I got a 5.5 inch plate height difference from the 8-12 and the 12-12 side with a 16.5 inch overhang. Reason why I did 16.5 inch because most of the houses out here have brick on it, and the brick is 3.5 plus an inch airspace in between the brick and the building, and plus 12 inches is 16.5 inches. So yeah, so that's the reason why I did this, because that's just customary. And you can see that these rafters on the 8-12 side, they don't sit on plates. They sit exactly on top of what represents the double top plate. That's what that board there represents. And I might as well show you this too. So all of these marks right here, this mark right here represents this valley. I mean hip. This one represents this hip. This line represents this common. And the beauty of this is you're able to see how everything intersects. Everything intersects. You're able to get your angles. That's the beauty of this. It really is. It really, really is. It's going to be so many things that's visible to you when you have a canvas under your roof with a mock-up. Now, of course, you can't do this on a job site, and you don't supposed to do it on a job site. You have a mock-up at home that you work on and you orientate yourself to, so you have a clear vision. And so all these marks right here represents all these marks up here. They represent all the marks that are on top, okay? And how everything is fit together. You can see everything is planing real good, right to the center of the valley. You see, it's just beautiful, beautiful. But yeah, and this technique is a composition of many other techniques that I've learned over the years, and some of my own stuff. Okay, because some things they just wasn't Some things I couldn't even understand, but some things they just wasn't convenient. Now, a lot of the things that I did in giving a demonstration of how to put this roof together, you won't be able to do. They're not practical to do on a job site, because on a job site, it's about production. It's about speed. And some of these things, like backing these hips, the way I back these hips, you can't do that on most job sites. It's just this backing hips is very time consuming. Ripping the hip on both sides is very time consuming, unless you're getting paid like $12 a square foot. You know, if you're getting $12 a square foot, you got time to do it, and you're getting paid the money to do it, big time. You know, but if you're getting $7 and $5 a square foot, you can't back the hip. What you need to do is just drop the hip. Dropping the hip just means taking a little extra out the C cut. So, so by the time that it gets here, it'll be dropped. And so the edges don't be sticking, making the plywood stick up on the edge. So that's the reason why people drop the hip. But whenever you drop the hip, though, you actually are reducing, taking from the actual pitch of the rafter whenever you drop the hip. The only way you can keep the true angle of the roof is if you back the hips like I did on here. That's the truest way to do it. The valleys, it don't matter, you know, because the valley's set low anyway. Uh, but anyway, this is Master Carpenter series with Lewis Thomas, just showing you, giving you the introductory of what to stay tuned for. I have my videos already, you know, I'm uploading them already. So I've already done one or two, and it's many, many more to come. I think I got like 17 videos. So just stay tuned, leave your questions and your comments, and I appreciate it. Hey, give me a thumbs up if you appreciate this. Uh, you know, that helps my channel out. I appreciate it if you give me a thumbs up to show your appreciation. So I'm going to get out of here. You all have a wonderful day, and shalom.